What's going on, everyone? So a few months ago I installed an OEM navigation unit on my 2008 Saab 9.3 Turbo X. So this unit, you know, this car being a 2008, this unit was first debuted in the 2007 model year 9.3s. So in essence, it's a 12-year-old, almost 13-year-old navigation system. So needless to say, I want to do a video today not only going over some of the features of it, but just to show you guys how outdated it really is. So this is an OEM unit from Saab and GM. If you have a GM car, you might have something similar in your GM vehicle from the same era. So right off the bat, really the big reason why I wanted this and why I made the case for like why I wanted to switch this from the old system that was in there, which I'll put a picture of it right here, is just the looks. Because it's an OEM unit, and because of it having, I think it's like a 6 or 7 inch screen, it looks modern. Like, until you turn it on and look at how outdated it is, it looks modern on this interior. I mean, it makes the car look a lot newer than it is. So a lot of people with these 9.3s will put in double DIN units that have Apple CarPlay and all of these things, and honestly those are great too, but you know, you can get modern features with it. But I just figured that, you know, I wanted to stay OEM, at least for now. Maybe down the road, if I'm super unhappy with it, I'll change to a double DIN, but I've liked it so far. So, that being said, I'm gonna go ahead, pull out my key here. I should probably get in the driver's seat so I could actually start the car. That might be smart. Also, by the time you guys are seeing this video, Saab Club of Arizona meet is happening this Saturday. So, I'll link that video up in the top corner, but you should definitely come if you can. So on startup here, you get a nice little Saab message on the screen, which is one of the things that I really like, because like you can't get that with like a aftermarket unit. Once you're in this main screen here, you have, you know, a good amount of stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the nav first, because, you know, that's probably the thing that gives it away, is the most outdated thing. So you can see the neighborhood I'm in, and actually this street back here does not exist anymore, and there's a street that you now take that goes out over here. The street right up there. That street has probably been open for 3 or 4 years, and that's not on here. So that's really the biggest thing, is, you know, it doesn't look super dated, or it looks dated, but not super dated. I'm actually gonna change this to day mode. This is one of the nice features of it, so there's less glare on the screen. So this obviously doesn't look like your 2019 Apple Maps or Google Maps. It's very, you know, it's still outdated, of course. I'm not saying it's not, but it could be worse, and honestly it serves the purpose. You know, you're not gonna use this navigation to get from point A to point B in your car because it's just so outdated. So that's kind of the navigation unit. I mean, you can put in like point of interest, or you can mark a specific space. You know, if you're on a street that it can recognize, because for some reason it's not recognizing this street, it'll tell you. Just basic stuff. And one thing that I really like, if I'm listening to the radio especially, is if you hit aux up here, which of course will say FM whatever if you're listening to the radio, it'll split the screen in half so you can see like what song and station you're listening to, while also being able to see the nav. If you're on the freeway, it'll come up with exits that are coming up, so that's pretty nice too. So I guess we'll just go through the buttons here. So if you go over to audio, this is really the screen that it's probably going to be on the most. You have your AM, XM, or FM, I mean. Don't want to get copyrighted here, but you can see it'll come up with like the names of the songs and stuff, which is really nice. You know, that's, I remember when I saw that in the car like 15 years ago, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But you can see, just from the graphics and everything, it's outdated. Now the system is not slow. Like, this is actually a really responsive and fast system. Like, you see, I click on it, like it switches pretty quickly. Of course you can get XM equipped, but I don't have it because I'm cheap. And of course you have your aux, which is what I'm usually using. And then your time, where you can of course set it. So if you go over to menu, this is where you can change like your brightness. I usually like to have it on night mode just because I think it looks better, especially at night. I've tried using the auto and it doesn't work. It'll just keep it on day all the time, which is annoying, but at night, it's really annoying to have the day thing. It's just like first world problems, right? But anyways, so nav, you can put in, you know, like different address books and route preferences and stuff. I've never messed with any of this because, you know, like I said, if I ever need directions to go anywhere, I just put it in Waze. Radio, you can choose all your presets, how many presets you want per page, all this other stuff. Pretty basic stuff. And then sound, of course. Actually, I do have a complaint here. So, of course, you can adjust your bass, treble, all that stuff. But there's actually 2 different part numbers for this. There's at least 2 that I know of. So, some of you, if you have one of these, you might know that there's a button missing on this screen, and it's called Bose Center Point. So because my car has the Bose speaker system, this nav unit is from a car that doesn't have that. So basically, I'm missing that feature, and because of that, my volume will, or my music or whatever I'm listening to will only play at half volume. So I can turn it up the whole way, and it'll only blast at half volume of what it could actually blast at. So basically what I've been told I need to do to fix that is get the right part number of one of these. So if anyone has one with the Bose Center Point that they're willing to swap, just hit me up. I will pay for shipping. I will give you a high five, and I will thank you endlessly, because it's freaking annoying if I'm being honest. So you got that. You also can change different settings, like if you're listening to rock music, country, talk radio. It's kind of cool. So just basic settings, not a ton. Destination, similar to, you know, nav, you can put in whatever you want. This button, I don't know if I've ever hit before. What does this do? Oh, repeat. Okay, I'm assuming that stands for repeat. Basic buttons here, seeking. This button right here, of course, is going to adjust your station. This button, of course, volume, and you hit it for power. So favorites is nice because, you know, usually on your car you'll just have like 6 presets and that's it, but you can choose how many you want per page and then how many pages you want. So I have like 6 pages. You can see I've only really filled out the first 2. But I mean, you could just see how you could have like pretty much endless favorites. And your seek button. So that's really it, guys. Of course, you also have, I mean, who uses CDs anymore though? And then of course your aux input, which if you have one of these, my buddy Alex, actually, as soon as I mentioned that I was getting one of these, he's like, get a 90-degree aux, because it's way better than having it stick out straight like this. So if you don't have one of these, highly recommend, because it helps it sit more flush. So that's the nav unit, guys. So you're watching this video and you've ever been in a car that's at least 5 years or newer, 5 years old or newer, then you obviously know how outdated this is. I mean, it's kind of funny, you know, for its time, this is a very good system for its time. If you're thinking about upgrading it and you don't use navigation, honestly, I'd recommend it, because you're still going to get, you know, you're going to get OEM features. You're going to get like that Saab message on startup. You're going to get all these cool little things that you wouldn't necessarily get with an aftermarket unit. And, you know, they're also kind of cheaper than all the wiring and stuff that you would need, because it's literally plug and play. I mean, if you guys want to see the video of installing this, it's like literally a 15-minute install. It's very simple. So overall, I'm happy with it. Really, the only thing that bugs me about it is the half volume type of thing. So if anyone, you know, happens to have the right part number for that, or if they know like how to actually, like, if there's a different way to fix it, like without having to switch out the actual unit, let me know. But with that being said, guys, that's really all I've got for today. This car is freaking disgusting, so I need to clean it before I go to the meet on Saturday, because it hasn't had a good wash really since Colorado. There's still some dead bugs on the front, and it's got a nice layer of dust on it because it hasn't really gotten driven the last couple weeks. So yeah, I'm going to be spending a lot of my time one of these afternoons coming up this week just getting this thing, trying to get to look presentable for the meet. But that's all I've got for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your thoughts are on this navigation unit, if you have one, or if you're thinking about getting one. You know, just comment down below. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on it. That's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.